Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Boots and Backstraps podcast.
Brought to you by Homes by Shayne and produced by Danny Geo Productions.
Come on now.
Hunt is on, looking for backstraps, way deep in the woods, tracking in a swamp to a hay field under the harvest moon. When the tags are filled, it's time to switch up our boots. Head down to the honky-tonk, get us a swing dance or two. We're talking about boots and backstraps.
Hey everybody, this is a show where we talk all things hunting and country music.
From the classics through today.
From big bucks to bull elk. We've got it all.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Boots and Backstraps. I'm your host, Shayne Michael, and I am joined, as always, by my ever-so-talented and wise co-host, Tom Katt.
Come on now.
How we doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
Good.
It's been a great day. Beautiful weather. Traveled around a little bit today. Went out to the woods of Wisconsin.
Saw a black bear?
Saw a black bear run right in front of our car. It was really cool.
That was cool.
It's been a great day.
From the distance, it was like, is that a dog? No, that's not a dog.
Oh, yeah.
That'd be a really big-ass dog.
I remember the first black bear I ever saw. I thought it was a black lab. I'm like, then it stood up and looked at me, and I'm like, oh, that's not a dog.
Lady. Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, there's a few things we should point out really quick.
Yep.
The first of which is, of course, our new logo on the table.
Well, that's cool.
And they can't see it in this particular angle, but when we get our guest in and they go to the angle that shows the table in a little bit wider picture, they'll see our brand new logo that we put on the table for Boots and Backstraps.
Yep, it does look cool. And our cool coasters.
Yep, logo coasters. Yeah. Danny, can you give him a shout-out again?
Shout out to Tim Sevilla. He is into leatherwork and he likes us, so we love him.
Yeah, Tim, can you make like 3 or 4 or 5 more of these bad boys? Because we start doing these remotes, like our reunion show coming up, which we'll talk about.
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to have a few of these on hand.
Big doings happening on the 31st.
TK.
Yes,
Is there
sir.
something happening on the 31st of July?
My goodness, we may as well go right into it. Yeah, we have a big deal going on at the Hog's Breath, where the Rowdy Cowboy Show started a little more than 40 years ago. So we're going to do a 40-year reunion. We're going to have all the disc jockeys on hand that worked with us, maybe some that didn't work with us. And then we're going to combine that with a WeFest kickoff party. We're giving away 4 general admission tickets, 4 reserve seat tickets, and 2 box seat tickets.
And where are the box seats? Because I keep hearing you talk about that. I know people are going to ask. Those are the ones that are
Well, the box seats are right in front of the stage.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's a huge area, and I know that Killer Kyle could pull that up. There's a variety of shots of the WeFest I know that we have on file, and we could just point them out to you. But box seats are box seats, man. They're right in front. And the box seat area is huge.
So you can smell the performer's cologne or perfume, right?
Well, you could see that Lori Morgan was wearing dental floss when she was performing. It was funny. I think we've talked about
That's
this.
up close and personal there.
And I think we have a picture of that on file, too, believe it or not. But
that must have been
after I introduced her, I looked down at the crowd, and the first 12 rows, their mouths dropped. And I'm like, what's going on? I'm looking. So I went down there and checked it out for myself, and I'm like,
it must have been.
She had a little flowery, but it was a blue dress and white polka dots. There's a picture of it over there, and I'm telling you, man, she had. I probably should shut up just because this is kind of not that classy a thing to talk about.
You got my attention though.
Kyle's in on this conversation. So I have to say we've been talking to some folks also in the podcast community and just kind of doing some consultation with other very successful podcasts, and we got some great compliments. So a big shout out to our producer Danny with Danny Geo Productions, because they, who are wildly successful, the first thing they said in their lengthy email with some suggestions and stuff for us was that the production specifically was fantastic.
Good. That is great.
So
did they say anything about getting rid of that old guy?
They did not. No, they didn't say anything about...
You're stuck with us.
Yeah. Sorry, man. We got to put somebody in that chair.
I know. Somebody with wisdom, right?
Yeah, you are. I said that right away. You're the wise one.
Wise cracker.
So I have to tell you, man, I'm super pumped about tonight's show.
Yeah, me too. I'm so excited. I really didn't know because I kept getting these emails about somebody named, who was it, Killer Kyle?
Lenny.
And I'm like, I kind of was thinking about
Right, Kravitz.
what's her name from Milwaukee?
Laverne and
Laverne
Shirley.
What's her name? And finally, I realized it's
You said Milwaukee.
actually.
That was enough for Kyle.
What did I say?
Milwaukee.
That was it.
I'm just saying that was enough for him to know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Actually, I have worked with this gentleman before and had a really great time working with him, and I know you've known him for many years, so this is kind of a fun reunion for me tonight because I didn't think I knew our guest until I met him and saw him, and I'm like, oh. We worked at a club together in Cambridge, Minnesota, and had a lot of fun promoting, the Rowdy Cowboy Show and the Wee Fest, which seems to be a common thread consistently through our podcast, and that's okay.
There's a reason for that, man.
Yeah.
There's a reason for it.
Hey,
A tip to you, sir, and a tip to you, sir.
Thank you.
this is our guest, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I should let you introduce him because you've known him longer than I have.
Yeah, well, let's drink first because we just did a clink.
Let's do a clink.
I think if you don't drink after a clink, like you get struck by lightning or something.
Clink and a slurp.
I don't want all
Yes.
that.
Then you stink.
Yeah, right. I don't need that noise. So our guest tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is one of my oldest friends. We've been friends for going on 30 years, and he actually is the guy that taught me what it was to be a professional DJ. So I'm not going to get emotional right when we start this episode, but I will say
I see you're tearing up there.
that's a little, I'm getting verklempt. There's a big difference between the people that play DJ and the people that take it seriously as a career and understand what it is to be in the business long term.
Right.
And I can't think of a guy that understands that better than our guest tonight. So help us welcome to Boots and Backstraps our good friend, Mr. Kenny Flexx.
Wow, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm flattered.
Well, you're absolutely right because, I've worked with a lot of disc jockeys.
You have.
Over the years.
All over the country, too.
All over the country. And when I worked with him, it was just like he couldn't have been more welcoming and fun. And we just had a great time. And some guys, Kenny, some of those DJs, they get this ego.
It goes to their head.
And it's like,
Yep.
no. I've trained disc jockeys, and I said, as soon as you think you're better
Right.
than the bartender or the
Yep.
doorman or the manager, then you're out the door.
Yep.
People see that,
Absolutely.
and
Yep.
we got to do, because I just think he's a handsome man, and I don't want to sound weird, but we got to move his microphone a little bit. Kenny, it's blocking your whole. There you
My
go.
vibe.
There you go. There you go. Now we can
Oh
see
yeah,
you.
much better.
Now can you flex a little bit, Clarissa? I mean, that's why his name is Kenny Flex. So he wears a muscle shirt and he flexes every opportunity. That's how he got
Not
his
every
beautiful wife.
No.
Or no shirt.
Yeah, country jam.
Yeah.
No shirt.
Hey, speaking of country jam, forgive me, this is totally off the subject.
Well, let's.
My friend Dave from 10 Point Lodge in Caledonia, Minnesota, he called me yesterday, and his daughter was asked to photograph for a local newspaper down there at the event that's going on by Eau Claire. Is that Country Jam or is that Country Fest this
Fest
weekend?
is Katt, and Jam is Eau Claire.
So it must be Jam that's going on
This weekend.
This weekend,
Yep.
yeah. And she was totally and terribly nervous about it. And he put her on the phone, and I said, listen, she just wanted some advice. And I said, if you're going with an interviewer, the onus is on him. He's got to set everything. All you got to do is take your pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're good at that, then don't worry, because the country music entertainment, those people are the nicest people in the world.
Right.
I mean, there's not going to be a country entertainer that she's going to be nervous around because they make everybody feel welcome.
Right.
I said to her, 99% of the people, 99% of the entertainers that I've met are some of the nicest people I've ever met.
Right.
So I'm sorry I got a little sidetracked there, but that reminded me that I know there's a show going on this weekend, and I didn't know if it was Country Fest or Country Jam.
Yeah, so Ken was the guy, the DJ for our sort of like sister, I call it a project, but sister business So from Rowdy Cowboy show spurned all these sort of like departments. And you had the Black Label dance team, and you had the Buckle Bunny like promotion / shot girl team, and then there was this electric rodeo concept that we started, Ken and I and Travis and Kyle, and that just was like wildly successful to the point where at Jam we had our own tent, like one of the only setups that had our own gigantic tent.
So you all went down there as a group. Here you are. There's Cowboy George.
This is probably the only time at Jam that Ken was wearing a shirt.
Cowboy George.
Right?
Like, I can't believe you're in this picture with a shirt on. What happened?
I don't know.
This was set up, wasn't it? I don't think
Well, it
we were
looks
going
dark.
yet.
It looks dark. It might have been like the very end of the show.
This was the last, right after the last set on the last night where we do the glow party.
And look how wet you guys are.
I was going to say, Ken, I don't know if you notice how wet Kyle's pants are. Is there a reason for that, you think?
Hey, when you got to go, you got to go.
Nothing stops the show.
Oh,
Timber.
sorry. Getting a little violent. Sorry. So anyway, so Ken was we always had this like big elaborate production, big stage, multi-tiered stage, huge sound, monstrous sound system. It was like 30,000 watts or something stupid
crazy.
like that.
Wow.
And then just crazy light show. And right in the middle of this thing is this muscle-bound, curly-haired Dierks Bentley lookalike on the turntables.
Yep. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah.
It was fun.
The Go-Go Girls, the Travis on the mic, and Danny did it one year. Oh, my God. Did she step up? It was awesome.
Kyle getting people wet.
Oh, yeah. Duh. And Kyle would come on, like, with a different outfit every time.
Right.
And, like, cool hats and stuff, and people couldn't wait. I'm telling you, as soon as one of the main artists were done, it was a flood of kids literally running to our tent. It was cool.
It's amazing. And this
Sounds like some great memories.
Yeah,
it's a
it was.
big tent. This thing is like 40 by 80. Just huge tent.
Wow.
And they would just pack in there like, here we go. Do you got audio on that too, Danny, or no? They would just be...
That was an old George Strait song right
Yeah,
there.
it was.
It was literally...
Remix.
It was the center point of the tent was probably 20 feet in the air. It was just this monster tent.
Wow.
And they would be packed like 8, 10 deep all the way around the outside of that tent trying to get in.
Wow,
Yeah, we had
crazy.
some great security.
Yeah.
All of those guys, man, they were really nice guys, and they paid attention.
Yeah.
So it kept it under control.
Yep.
Just under control, you know.
There was like this evolution over the years where you guys started getting smart. You'd have to like grease the poles and stuff because people would try to climb them.
Right.
Wow.
It was wild. There's a couple times when like people try to get up on stage and then do you know Big Brian? He's just a different level of human being. He's like 6'9" and probably 320.
And so awesome.
Just soft spoken.
Where would I know him
his
from?
attitude is just
From the show.
From
yeah,
the show.
so cool.
The Ginger Giant's what we call him.
I think I know who you mean. Big guy like that's not easy to forget.
Yeah, so he would always like real respectfully just like you'd see these guys jump up on stage because they'd want to dance with the dancing girls that were up there.
Yeah.
And he would just go over and like literally just pick them up, and then they would be like, "I'm not touching the ground anymore." Just put them down on the ground, like, "Stay down there, son."
Sounds like fun.
It was a lot of fun. It was pretty crazy. There's KG and the girls dancers. Kenny.
There you go. There's your no shirt.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, man. That you might hold on. Can you go? That one right there. You might have recognized that girl.
That was
I might.
no.
No, it's our studio
Jill.
manager. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jill, yeah.
There she is right there. There's Jill. She's not here tonight because she's doing some cleanup and pack up from an event that we had before this. So luckily we've got Lynn. Lynn's here.
Lynn Kitty,
Yep, Lynn Kitty indeed.
the one and only.
So Ken, this whole episode is all about you, brother.
Oh man.
Like we are here to talk
I'm flattered.
about
I'm flattered. Thank you.
you. You keep saying that. This is like the most humble guy I've ever met in my whole life.
I know, he's a wonderful man. Humility is the most admirable quality in a human being, and I strive. I haven't quite got there yet, but I'm trying to get there.
there's no question, and Kyle and Danny will back me up here. You are easily the most requested DJ in the Midwest in the last 30 years.
Yes.
Without question. Between the schools and the weddings and the bar mitzvahs and the nightclubs and like the bars and like just everything, this guy is everywhere. He's playing everywhere. You know,
I can see why.
Yeah.
He knew. I only worked with him a few times, but he knew his stuff.
So I want to like get into the Wayback Machine for a minute.
All right.
Let's go back to like little Kenny Flexx. When like you were, I know you still didn't have a shirt on, but this is before like you got huge. And like, what got you interested in music when you were like young?
Well, we were roller skating at Cheap Skate.
Yeah, man.
So,
The funk,
Yeah.
like
absolutely.
Funkadelic, like George Clinton and all that.
Well, actually, before that, I mean, it was
disco.
Well, it was 1977. Cheap Skate opened.
That's when I opened too. My eyes for the first time.
Is it really?
77. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I
And,
made like a baby and head out.
well, I was 6, and my mom loved roller skate, so she took me up to the roller rink, and there was the ladies' day, and Kevin was the manager back then, and she'd skate around, and I'd play around, and yeah, that's where it started.
And so like what? Obviously, we all know you as like the funk master.
Okay.
But your music has evolved a lot over the years. But like, where did you start? Like, what kind of got you going into the?
Well, as far as DJing,
Yeah.
I was DJing at Cheap Skate. I was doing a Tuesday night family night, and just trying to get my bearings. Don Stubbs was the DJ, and so I just kind of watched her and tried to emulate her, and play the type of stuff that she was into, and try to sound like, and because that's pretty much all I knew until I did Fridays and Saturdays and that sort of thing.
A little different format, probably. Then.
Oh yeah, much different format.
And how old were you back then?
I was 16.
16 when you got in.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep. It's been a fun ride.
Yeah, for sure it has been.
Yes, it has.
So obviously the rink is how you and I met, and how
Right.
I met Kyle, and I would assume how you and Kyle met.
Yep.
So it's like, and we're talking about Coon Rapids Cheap
Right.
Skate specifically.
Right.
So it seems like a lot of our friends, obviously, that we still have today.
Yeah.
Like all kind of that generational Coon Rapids Cheap Skate.
Right.
And it's still there now.
Yep.
Great.
It's awesome because.
Is it still a roller rink?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ed's the manager there, and he's awesome.
Go Biliowski.
Billy Owski.
Go Billy out. How do you pronounce
Ed
it?
Golibiowski.
Golibiowski.
Oh, thank you.
It's something European
I just
for sure.
I just keep it at Ed.
Yeah, Ed.
If there's a ski on the end of it, it's probably Polak.
Right? Yes.
You're
Yes.
right.
And he's another big individual.
He's
super
awesome.
tall.
He is so awesome.
He's a good DJ too.
Oh my goodness, yes.
His handle was DJ Bruce Wayne.
That sounds familiar.
Like a Batman.
Like a Batman.
Exactly. Yeah, he's cool. Recently we just did a kind of like a reunion 90s night, and that was fun. That was about 3 months ago. We did really well on attendance, and
Good.
yeah. And I met a lot of the
faces.
new DJs there. And that was my goal. I wanted to recruit some new guys that would come in, some new blood that, enjoyed playing music and making money. So,
It's a great way to make a living.
yeah, it is.
So you're
Yep.
recruiting for your business now?
Right.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Because we're going to get to that too, obviously.
Sure.
I mean, we could spend this whole thing, Tom, talking about Twin City Sound. But,
Sure.
that was kind of when was it Twin City Sound originally?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's what we named it.
Because it was you and Bob and
Mike Rorick.
Mike Rorick. And then didn't Jake LaFerrier was in that too, wasn't he, to begin with?
Not technically, but he always hung out with us.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then Mike moved to California.
right.
And pursued a acting career briefly.
Acting
And then he got hitched.
Yep.
It's all downhill from
got
there,
some
right,
beautiful
bro?
kids. He posts on Facebook. It's a lot of fun to watch his posts because he'll set up his DJ system and he will have cool parties. So if you look him up.
I
Mike-
will.
Yep.
I can remember back in the day with him and Mike specifically, they were so like potato. They're like the opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yin and yang?
Yeah, totally yin and yang. Because Mike was this like total surfer boy, just this really like attractive man. All the girls were
really?
fainting over him.
And I was the opposite?
But he was like all about chasing the chicks and just getting parties. And Ken was like, we have to like actually get paid and like not have our equipment get wrecked. And like he was the responsible
That's
one,
true.
Right.
and Mike was the irresponsible one.
That's true. Because we booked gigs and we never got paid.
I DJ'd one of those.
Yes.
I think I was at a few of those, and I remember a few of the conversations you guys would have outside. Like, what do you mean they don't have any money?
Right.
You said they had money.
Oh, yeah.
I think anybody in the entertainment business, whatever spectrum,
Right. Yeah,
they know that
happens.
deal.
Right.
Not getting paid.
You ever been step before, TK?
I'm trying to remember if I never got paid. Quite frankly, I think I always did. But everyone you talk to, whether it's bands, especially bands, even the big bands today, or the big groups, the artists, they remember back when they were trying to make a living and got stiffed.
Yeah. Or they just
I
try to
really don't
cut
have
you.
any stories about that, but I probably did.
I have to say, in the interest of full disclosure, because I love you guys, I was on the stiff list with Ken. I stiffed him once.
You stiffed me?
I did.
How much do you owe him?
I thought I stiffed you. Uh-oh. We're going into a different conversation.
Wait, yeah, I was like, are we talking about
Right.
DJing still? Wait. No, you were no, I was catcher. No,
When the vans are rocking.
there's right. There's no puppies in there, but you better believe. Yeah, so we did this. I made the mistake of letting a friend of mine, because he knew we were obviously having some success in the business, let a buddy of mine, who shall remain nameless on this podcast, even though you'll remember him as we talk about this,
Okay.
talk me into throwing a party. And we did this like in the South Metro, Burnsville, Lakeville, something like that, at a VFW. We booked a ballroom.
Oh, yes. Now I remember.
We got a stage for him, and he brought all his gear down, and he was going to do this show. And my job was, as it's always been, to be like the responsible one. So like I get Ken lined up, I get the stage lined up, I negotiate with the venue, get a drink special, get wristbands, get security lined up, people to do that. Like I get all the stuff, right? This buddy of mine, who shall remain nameless, MFer, that's what we'll call him, MFer. He was the one that was supposed to go out and hand out flyers and handle all the promotion, so we would have bodies there. And
Drop the ball.
he didn't do that. So literally,
Sam Jackson.
yeah, Sam Jackson, like the entire Pulp Fiction movie. Yeah, so we get to this gig, and Ken gets all set up, and we're pumped because we got this huge ballroom, and there's going to be a bunch of people, and it's going to be a great party. And like I'm sitting there going, okay, through my head, got all the dots dotted and all the T's crossed and all that whatever. Mm-hmm. And then, like, it's crickets, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Ken's just sitting up there like, so where's all the people, bro? I'm like, yeah. And I'm looking at my buddy. I'm like, where's all the people?
Sam, where are all the people?
Right. And he panicked, and he got in his Camaro, and he sped off with a bunch of flyers, and he was going to run up to Burnsville Center or whatever and try to hand out flyers to get people in a panic.
After the fact?
Right.
Like, we're already playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So literally, we had 3 people in that party, and those people walked over from the main area of the VFW where their bar is to our ball, and we're like, "Oh, what's going on in here?" And they paid cover, and they stayed like 2 songs, and they asked for a refund.
Yep. It's not always roses.
No. So I'd had that conversation with him where I was like, I don't know what to say, bro. Like, I know I said I was going to pay you X, and
So we would label Sam as a promoter.
Yeah.
His job was to promote.
Yep.
Well, most of the great horror stories in the entertainment world
Yeah.
are about promoters.
Mm-hmm.
Randy Levy.
right. Yeah, so he was supposed to handle that. Like, Ken's like, I'll come down, I'll play the music, I'll just, I don't remember, he gave me a deal. It's like half his normal rate or something.
Uh-huh.
He never got anything. It was like a high five.
That's
like,
all right.
Love you, bro.
Remember the time we were loading speakers into into a trailer.
Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
so it kind of got you back on.
No doubt. That's a great story, which we're going to get to. So before we go there, though, because that has to
Okay.
come up in this episode.
Okay.
Kyle made me promise that this would come up. Because, Kyle's obsessed with this.
It was horrific.
How did you get...
And hilarious.
You're telling me? Do you still have a scar?
You were, like, surprisingly calm, given the situation, though, Ken.
Oh man.
So, so anyway, how did you get from... where obviously you're a fan of music and you're at the rink and you're DJing a few nights there, that kind of thing. How did you make the decision to say, all right, I'm going to make this a business. I'm going to start doing my own gigs and go mobile?
Well, I mean, I worked for Special Sounds Great out of St. Paul, and I did a lot of gigs for them.
Mike and Jim Edberg, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
You remember those guys?
Them, yeah.
Yep. And I was like, it was a couple of years, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm getting a fourth of I can invest and just do it myself. And
It's a natural progression.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
You should have seen his original setup.
Yeah.
oh,
I mean, it was like this
humongous,
giant-
huge, so heavy.
It's tough trucking that stuff around.
I mean, huge speakers, huge
van.
amp rack,
Yeah.
huge coffin with Technique 1200s and mixer and all that stuff.
Right? Oh my goodness.
Everything was huge.
And
how I got-
and a van with shag carpeting.
Yes, it was. So you're trying to push it in, and it wouldn't go anywhere.
The Burb was the first thing, though. He had like I don't even remember, what year was that Burb?
85.
85 Burb, and it was like an XL, and you could barely get the doors closed in the back.
Right.
It was so full. Like Ken was like the only one that knew the secret code of how the shit had to go in there, so you could close the doors.
Yep.
So Kyle and I would try to load it, or Bob would try to load it, or whoever was with us try to load it, and you couldn't get the doors closed. And Ken's like, "Oh, you got to put this like this and this like this, and see how it closes now." It's like, come on, man.
It was
Yep.
the Tetris truck.
It was.
And what kind of vehicle was it?
85 Chevy Suburban.
Oh, I got you.
And I got it from Jim and Mike Edberg.
You're kidding.
No, I bought it from them.
It was like cream and orange or something like that, right?
It was a reddish.
Cream
With
reddish.
cream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Remember that thing?
I remember.
And if three of us were doing the show with you, if it was the three of us, you two would sit in the front, and then I would lay on top of the speakers.
Poor Kyle.
You would have no choice. Kyle was like, he's like 6 foot, and he was literally like $140 back then.
Right.
Just a string bean. You like put him in a speaker stand bag. Put him in there.
Oh, man. Again, great memories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to take, if you don't have those shitty times, like the one gig you were just talking about, you don't know how to measure the great
Right.
times,
Right.
And, you talk to any entertainer, they love the bad times and the good times when they're first starting out, and they always say the same thing. I wouldn't trade those times for anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So true.
Yep. Yeah.
So you've worked for Mike and Jim for a couple years, and you decide, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing.
Yep.
So how does this conversation go? Like, how did it end up being a thing? Or like, okay, it's going to be Mike and I, and then how's your brother get involved? Like, I'm curious about all this. I've never even heard this.
Well, it was, we were all at the roller rink working in some capacity. Bob did security.
You got your
and-
Mountain Dew and your pizza, and you're like, hey.
Right. And I'm doing this mobile thing, and I'm like, and Mike's really good.
He is an awesome DJ.
Yeah. So I was like, man, this is a no-brainer. We have to do this. And then we all chipped in the same amount, and we bought equipment and went for it.
Where did you get your first set of gear?
Actually, it was Hutner. Tim Hutner in Champlin. He actually does a lot of cars, but he also does speakers and all kinds of technology stuff.
You should have seen these speakers, TK.
They were incredible.
And they were like, that file cabinet would have hid behind the speaker. They were so big.
Yeah.
Huge cabinets.
And just, so heavy. I mean, it was deadlifting 400 every single time.
And like every damn show we do would be like, oh, we want it upstairs. Like,
By the way, you're up there.
like for
Okay.
real. We built a special deck for you. We hope it'll hold. Like, come on, really?
Right.
I mean, how many times have you done gigs where you show up and it's like they built a stage and you're like, ooh, I don't know. Dicey.
Right.
Which one of you is an engineer? Oh, none of you? All right. I'm going to put this shit on the ground.
Yes.
We want to live.
Yeah. That's kind of like Country Jam. I mean, that powerful of a system. I mean, that thing was beast at Country Jam. So
Year one.
We had a...
How did you power that thing?
it was amps.
couple of
How
amplifiers.
did you get the power to the amps?
Well, we plugged it in. We used lots of outlets.
They
Ran outlets out there for you?
They
Yeah,
ran a 220 line from
wow.
their main power box over to the tent.
Oh, you didn't
And
have to use generators or anything.
No. And
Wow.
then we built a board that we could plug all the gear into, and they just had to plug into our board.
Yeah. One super hot day though, it all popped,
Oh, yeah.
I was just going to say.
and
we
that was
talked
one
about
of one of the best parties
It was.
because they were like, "Yeah, we broke it."
They're like in the middle of a set, and he's on fire up there on the turntables, and the whole tent is jumping and going crazy, and the whole thing just out. So like we're
Those
scrambling.
kids.
We grab. I think I can't remember who it was. Somebody went and grabbed one of the like just random jam people that had a radio. They're like, "Hey, our power's out!" Like I think, and you should have seen the look on the guy's face. He was like, "The party tent, they don't have power." And then they like grab this electrician, and like he comes running, and he's got his belt on. He's trying to figure out like what the problem
That's pretty
is.
dang nice of them.
Meanwhile,
Pretty
the
hostile.
kids are crowd surfing, just going crazy with the beach balls. I'm like, listen, I'm not even playing anything right now.
They didn't care.
They didn't care. They were just
they're
like,
there to
yes,
party."
we broke it.
So this guy like runs back to the main board, tries to figure out what's going on, comes back to the tent, back to the main board, back to the tent, finally figures it out or whatever, gets it all rehooked again, and then fires it up, and then of course the crowd went crazy because it's back on and
Light it up.
yeah,
Fun.
music was going. But that was wild.
Here
we go.
There we go.
Whoop, whoop. Oh, you got some extra pictures.
Yeah, you didn't know we had that?
Yeah, doing the research.
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
All right, so yeah, anyway, so Twin City Sound, how did you, it was like you and Mike and Bob were all at the table having a conversation about it? Because I know for sure, I mean, Mike kind of skated a little, but you and Bob were the ones that were like the moonwalk kings.
Well, I mean, I mean, we just spent more time there.
Right.
So we had a lot of time to practice more.
Yeah. And
we love skating, so yeah.
so did you start, who came up with the idea for Twin City Sound? Like, how did it turn into a business?
Oh, I was the catalyst. and I'm like, hey, we got to do this. You're good. Let's do this. And I just knew which way we needed to do it. So I'm like, we're gonna push this, and we're gonna put out flyers, and we're gonna call schools, and we're gonna promote. And Mike was awesome. Bob was awesome.
And Mike's like, let's do field parties.
Yeah. Mike did do that, so that is true. But he was also he got us a lot of gigs with Dan Bussey back then, Raging Cajun, and yeah,
and Jake. I mentioned Jake.
Jake
earlier.
LaFerrier. Yep. Well, he was a neighbor. He lived 1 block away. So
And you guys
I grew up with Jake.
I was going to say, you guys used to work out together, didn't you? Because he
A
was
little
lifting a
bit.
lot back then, too.
He did back then. Yep. Before he became a firefighter and did that career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't mean to sell Mike short, because Mike is like super connected.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Mike.
And he was talented. I mean,
Very talented guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing DJ. I remember, because back then, when I was a teenager, I was going through kind of a rock/metal phase, which
Yep.
you remember.
Black Lightning.
Black Lightning. Yeah. I don't know if you know this, Tom, but for almost 5 years, I was a professional inline skater.
No, I didn't know that.
Take the ramps and
Yeah, we were sponsored by Rollerblade, the company.
I know who started rollerblade.
You do? That does-
Scotty out of Highland Park.
you got it.
Scott
He'll get there.
Sansby.
See? He'll get there. You just got to wait.
Man, I'm glad that I haven't
That's
thought
impressive.
haven't thought of Scott Sansby used to be a drummer, and he used to play with Katt Stevens.
Wow.
And he started the rollerblade, and he was tooling around Lake Calhoun and made a business out of it. And,
A very successful business.
oh, man.
Ultra.
I mean, pretty much anyone that owns inline skates in their time has called them rollerblades.
Right.
Even though they're inline skates.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. So
Well, that was his brand name.
It's like
Rollerblade.
Kleenex.
Yes. Right. In Minnetonka. Right. Kleenex. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He was a sharp guy. I mean, it's kind of a weird story, but in high school there was a group called the Yeomen,
Okay.
and it goes way back many, many years in Highland Park and St. Paul Central.
I thought you
Had
were going to say
these
Dem Yopers. I was like, yeah.
damn Yoopers.
Dem Yopers.
Damn Yopers.
They do that song, 30 Point Buck.
It's the Yoopers.
The Yoopers. It's
Oh.
the Yoopers.
All right. My bad.
Now you got to sing it.
Right.
I don't know the words. I've heard it 100 times, but I don't know the words. I mean,
God.
I'm not 50 plus. Sorry, guys.
Ooh. Well. We take it with grace, don't we?
Yeah. Come on now.
See, he said timing is
Yep,
everything.
That's right.
That was impeccable timing, sir.
Oh, okay. So, Scott.
What a boring episode. This
Yeah,
is.
okay. I'm glad we could mention your name. Rollerblades, Yeoman, Highland Park, St. Paul Central. A few select guys got to be Yeoman. A club, whatever.
Well, so Rollerblade, when they were gaining a lot of popularity in this market, they were doing the Roller Dome at the Metrodome.
Oh, yes.
And what they did is they held there was a bunch of guys I was skating with back then, and they held a tryout for their ramp exhibition team.
Uh-huh.
And me and a bunch of the guys like Wes and Tim and those guys all went and tried out. And of the 10 of us that went that knew each other, Tim and Wes and I, are two friends of mine, were the only ones that made the team. And so we just kind of got closer than the other guys, and we had our own team that was called Black Lightning that we skated with through Anoka, Coon Rapids, and over all that stuff through our late 20s. And so to make this story much shorter, what ended all that for me and Tim and Wes and all those guys is we're all hanging out in the late 90s, 96, 97, something like that, right around there.
Okay.
It was the first year of the X Games.
Oh, okay.
And we're all 18, 19, 20, 21, kind of in that age bracket. And we're watching X Games in California. And there's these 12-year-olds doing everything we can do, plus a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
We're we're done.
That was a good run.
It was fun. Promo lasted.
When I was a kid, what the kids are doing now and what they've been doing for years, when I was a kid and had a bicycle, we had an alley behind our house that was downhill that went to Lexington, and I put a board, like a 2x6 board, and just put it up in the bushes and rode my bike up the board and just crashed in the bushes, and that was my extreme.
Biking, yep.
Yes, there was none of that when I was a kid. I guess I made my own. But do we have any pictures of you inline skating?
Yeah.
So I was just going to say, I don't think we have any on this computer, but I will pull some up because my wife just found them, well, not semi-recently, probably a year ago, but we saw
that's
photos
cool.
of me jumping over cars and stuff. In my,
Oh, yeah?
my
That is
inlines.
neat.
Oh, yeah.
He had hair like me.
I did.
Long hair, huh?
Well, I had a long mullet.
A long mullet.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was definitely party in the back.
Who the hell is wearing a mullet right now? I just saw someone on television just got a monster mullet.
What is
Some
it?
entertainer, some athlete, I don't know what it was.
There's that
A young
controversial-
cat or an old guy?
Morgan Wallen has a crazy
Yes.
mullet. He's got a
I
crazy
saw
mullet.
that.
Pull him
too.
up, Kyle.
Pull him up. Look it
can
up
you-
on the internet.
Yep, hit the Google. We'll find a Morgan Wallen picture. He's got a very impressive mullet.
That whiskey looks good over there.
Well,
I might
shoot.
have to get
Load it up.
Lenny to pour me one.
Pour
Well, as
me.
long as you're going, I'll go. I'll do it too.
There we go.
Yeah, we're not going to wait for the break.
No, we don't have to. You don't have to. I mean, if you guys are going to have some, I'll have some more.
Right?
Don't do this at home.
No, do this at home.
Please. Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Lynn. Oh, here we go. Is that who you're thinking of, Tom?
No.
Okay. Yeah, he's got a real impressive
Right?
mullet.
But he's got a little hair that comes over the
A
ears.
little bit. Yeah, if it were, just another inch back, it would be very Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah, Billy Ray made it famous.
That's right.
Oh. So anyway, so you guys are doing the mobile thing, and Twin City Sound is born. Where did you come up with the name Twin City Sound?
That was mainly me. Because it sounds great, special sounds. It all had sound in it, and then the Quad City DJs.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay,
Tootsie Roll, right?
The train.
Oh, the train, right.
Come and ride it.
Quad City, as in Dubuque, Iowa.
I'd have no idea. All I knew is that they had the train song, and I was like, okay, all right.
That's the only Quad City that I can
Quad
think
City, Deet, and then Twin City. So I'm like, well, let's just put sound on there because everyone else does back in 1992.
Yep.
So, Twin City Sound.
Yeah, man.
The best mix in town.
The best mix in town, indeed. And now next year's 30 years of Twin City Sound.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
I know it. Yeah, it's been a great run.
Well, you think about all the DJ companies that have come and gone over
Oh,
the
my
years.
gosh. Mm-hmm. Lots.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned a couple of them in this episode
Yep.
with, like, Sounds
Yep.
Great.
Thank you so
and
much.
Sounds Great had, like, a crazy amount of market share when they were
Oh, yeah.
around. I mean, how many systems did they have? Like 10 or 12 or something?
More like 16.
It's crazy.
And, yeah, their Yellow Page budget back then, could be, because that's all you could pretty much advertise on unless you're doing billboards on the side of a road. I mean, it was
This
the Yellow
is
Pages.
pre-interweb.
Yeah,
Right.
pre-internet, so, yeah.
No one's shipping nothing at that time, Tom.
I can't tell you how many times that has come up in recent conversations. I'll ship that over to you.
He's talking about texting.
Okay.
He called it
Got
shipped
it.
one
He called
time.
it shipping.
So we were all like,
said,
no, we
just
can't
ship
let
that
it
Just
over
ship
to
it
me.
over.
Ship it to me.
Ship it to Tom.
I thought it was funny. They thought it was old.
That's hilarious.
right.
Now we can't let it go.
Oh, well.
Oh, well.
So I worked for them via Ken for a brief stint, and you would pull into their facility in St. Paul in the warehouse district there off of Crete and Vandalia.
Yep.
And you'd go in there, and they would just have
Get
these
your trailer.
Yeah, trailers with all the gear and your microphone and all your
Preloaded.
music and everything, right? It's all just ready to go. You just hook up and you leave.
Yeah.
With your clipboard.
Ricky
Yep.
St. John had a pretty good operation. He had
Northern
about
Lights.
He had about a dozen systems, I think. In
He's
his
still
heyday.
doing it.
I
know
work
he
for
is.
him, and he set up and tore down for me. He's like, just bring your computer. I'm like, I will work for you anytime.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. I
He
got to
and I
step
did
my
a-
game up, Danny. Jeez. That's what I got to do to get you to work for me?
If you set up and
Oh,
then tear
Lord.
down for me,
Okay.
I'll come and be pretty and entertaining.
Yeah, he and I did a
Okay.
few gigs
All right. I'll keep
together.
that in mind.
Rick, you and Rick did
Oh, yeah.
mobile events.
We did one that was really fun. All the Gopher hockey players used to hang out at the Hog's Breath every Monday night religiously.
Okay.
From like the late 70s all the way up through 2006 when they won back-to-back national. I mean, all of them.
Wow.
It was their
That's a
deal.
run.
So one year, one of the guys, his dad owns the resort on Lake of the Woods. I can't think of the name of it.
Give him a minute.
Not River's Edge. Yeah, give me a minute.
It'll come. It always does.
And so there was like 100 old and young hockey players. Some of the pros were up there, and Ricky and I did a deal up there, man, and it
Just like a party?
it was a huge party. I'll think of the names, but the man that owns the resort on Lake of the Woods, it's not Riverside, it starts with a B. His daughter married one of the hockey players, Anthony. Anyway, he works for him now. Isn't this great how I just throw up these broken conversations?
I'm like,
Can't remember names, places, resorts.
I'm doing the lily pad right now. Okay, that one.
Eventually, we might.
But anyway, we had a great time. All the hockey players were raising hell, and we're doing the bullshit toast, and just the mom wanted us to shut it down, and we just kept going till like 4 a.m. And,
Nice.
So I assume Rick was playing music and you're MC, right?
well, he brought one of his systems up there, and we just kind of trade off. He would play, dance music, a lot of the popular stuff, and I'd jump in and play some of the rowdy cowboy stuff. And
Because obviously they knew it from the show.
oh God, yeah.
Right.
So it was fun. We did a few. We had mutual friends that got married, and we did some shows together. It's a fun
cool.
deal.
You know Northern Lights, don't you?
Oh, yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, everyone knows them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're still doing gigs now. So.
Yep.
Yeah, I was actually just talking to him because of our reunion show that we
Yeah.
got coming up.
I'm sure he'll be there.
Yeah, and Ken, you're coming, right?
Well, now,
Well, now
It sounds like we're about to get a backpedal here, ladies and gentlemen.
at first you told me it was at the well.
No.
Yeah, you did.
No.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
the well.
Look, Father
Yes.
Time, you better check your hearing aid there.
I will show you the text.
You might have to. Because it's always, we would never do anywhere than the Hog's Breath. That's where the show started.
I'm telling you, man.
Were you thrown out of the
That's what
Hog's
it
Breath
said.
once?
So
and
wait,
you're
wait.
afraid to go back?
No, that's not true.
What we talked about is it's a Saturday night, and so you don't have to tear down your gear from Friday night.
Right.
You're just going to leave it set up.
yes.
And the podcast starts at 7. So if you're our first guest that night at, say, 7:15 till 7:20,
Then I could make it.
how long does your old ass need to get to Anoka by 9 o'clock?
Right. Yeah, half hour.
I mean, you could take your Lark scooter and get there by 9
Oh, my. We'll see.
with your little grabber thing to get stuff off the shelf.
I can't even.
Sorry, that's sorry.
It doesn't matter.
What
So
have we got here?
Oh man,
Oh, that's Black Lightning.
that's the Black Lightning. That was our when we first started skating together. We formed a team, and so on the far left you get Heather. What her name was Jacus at that point. Now it's Heather Horn, and then that's me. You can see my mullet kind of sticking out there.
That's you?
Yeah.
Well, so you do have a picture of you.
Yeah.
They must have found it somewhere. And then my buddy Jason Carlson, who I haven't seen
Internet.
since high school. And then Tim Hathaway is next to Jason. He now goes by Sarge, and he's a regular at the Rowdy Cowboy Show. And you got Wes Manny next to him, and he's also a regular at Rowdy Cowboy Show. And you get Chad Doble next to him, and just reconnected with him in the last couple of years, so good to kind of connect with him. Doug Rasmussen next to Chad, and I'm connected with him on Facebook. We haven't seen each other for a few years. And then it's my sister on the far right, Jamie. She was a Hall, and now she's a Mellis Moen. Or as I like to say, pissin' moanin'. So anyway, that was our first group for that team.
Okay.
And then over the course of 4 or 5 years, some people came and left, and there we are skating together. Some people came and went, and we did a lot of performances together. For town fairs and
I
carnivals.
mean, like choreographed performances?
Well, we'd bring the ramps out. They'd pay us money, which I would arrange, obviously. Like, I set it up like a business. I learned from the best. Set it up like a business. And then we would go out to these festivals. They'd block a parking lot for us at the bank or the VFW or whatever. And then people would bring all their lawn chairs out, sit and watch, and we would just do tricks off of ramps for an hour.
Cool.
It was super fun.
I bet.
Yeah.
How much did they pay you?
This is like back in the early 90s, so not much, a few $100.
Cool.
And we would just use it to buy Taco Bell and
Right.
Mountain Dew,
Yes.
Doritos. So this is the Sun 75. It was a 75-mile rollerblade tour from Hinckley to Duluth.
Really?
Yeah.
I hope you're coming from Duluth down to Hinkley. 'Cause-
Nope, the other way around.
Really?
You'd skate north. Then it would be over 2 days. You'd skate from Hinckley to Moose Lake, and you'd camp in Moose Lake overnight.
But isn't that kind of uphill going that way? Seriously.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you.
Because I know from
Right.
St. Paul to Winona, following the river, it's all downhill. Because I have a cousin or a sister-in-law that bikes from Winona to St. Paul, and it's all uphill, obviously.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I wonder if it's the same way up there.
Well, yeah. So what we did is because it would start on a Saturday morning, and you'd skate half of it Saturday and the other half on Sunday. and then they would transport you via bus back to Hinckley so you could get your vehicle and go home.
Okay.
And what we did is we'd always go up Thursday, and then we'd camp Thursday night and Friday night there where it was going to start, and just whoop it up, right?
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Absolutely.
And and so we've got some great stories from that stuff. And then you'd get up first thing in the morning on Saturday, pack up your tent and all that stuff, throw it in your vehicle, and then you'd strap your skates on and you'd get ready. And I mean, like a marathon, people would just pack in at the start line and they'd say go, and then you'd go.
Fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Good exercise.
Oh, gosh,
man.
yeah.
I'm not there, bro. My cardio's not there, man.
And then we learned how to moonwalk from Ken.
And then we learned how to moonwalk from Ken, and life got slower and cooler.
Yeah.
Life got a little Barry White.
There you go.
He had back in the Cheap Skate days, TK, he had these iconic, and I'm not overselling by using the word iconic, these iconic suede black leather quad skates.
You still got them, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, I took him to Vegas on a family trip.
Did you skate all the way there?
And no, we didn't. I didn't skate all the way there. But once I got there, the regulars were like, the adult night is on Sunday night. You should come on out. They just saw the skates and they're like, this guy knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, the suede and the Sims.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they know. Yeah, they saw your stuff. Those aren't jelly rolls.
Right.
Sorry, Kyle.
Hey, I rock jelly rolls.
And he rocked them well.
He did. Dropping in the splits all the time.
Right.
Girls were like, oh, Killer Kyle. Like, God, get over it.
It was fun.
Ken taught me that move, too.
No doubt about it, man. Lynn is taunting them in the control room. I love it.
She's a dancer.
Oh, so
Reminds me of Steve Harvey's Family Feud.
Nope. She's not a...
He's asking, well, the question was, what's your favorite dance move? And this black girl was, the girl up, and she, that'd be sliding down the pole, Steve. Sorry.
that counts.
Yeah.
So before we go to break, because we're going to have to get to break before too long here, I haven't seen my producer flag me, but I got to assume that we're getting into that ballpark. I do want to hit that story, Ken, about the show that we did with the exploding thumb.
Okay.
Because I think it's important.
Do you have a mark? Did it leave a mark?
Yeah, so if you look
Here's a mark.
It's not that kind of mark.
Okay.
So you look at that nail, and then look at this nail.
Oh, yeah. There's a mark.
Yeah, this nail's jacked. So we're doing this gig. Ken, why don't you tell the story, man?
Kyle may have to jump in.
All right. I can help, too.
So, yeah, we're loading equipment.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
I'm already cringing.
Into
You didn't
a
drop one of them
trailer.
Boxes
No,
in.
we're
Out of a trailer.
We're unloading.
Oh,
There was two.
what?
There were,
I thought this was after the gig.
Nope. This is because we had to take
remember
we
the
had
whole
to take
show,
Shayne
I
to
was
the
like-
hospital.
Oh, that's right.
So you had two weddings that day. One you were doing, and one that Shayne and I was going to do. So you came with us to unload the first show, and we were in a hurry because
Yeah,
you
we
need
were.
to make your show.
Yep.
And Shayne was backing out carrying a speaker, and you were on the other side pushing the speaker out.
Oh, my
and he
God.
clipped his
Huge
thumb.
speakers.
Yeah, massive.
When it
Clipped
comes to moving major equipment, I'm just cringing.
Right?
I got my hands.
Fingers and thumbs. And,
I got my hands like this on the bottom of the speaker, right? And on the back of the trailer, on the outside edges, are these big metal L brackets. So, Ken,
And I'm pushing from the inside.
big muscle-bound fool over here, DJ Gorilla, he's pushing this giant speaker, and I'm just walking back, not paying attention, and like literally explosion. And right away, I grab my thumb, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. Ken,
You were so young. We were both so young. But
Ken's like,
you-
go to the bathroom, put some water on it. I was like,
okay.
So, go to the bathroom, and I'm like, The holding it under the faucet, when I pull it out of the faucet, like it's just gushing blood. So I put it back on the faucet.
It didn't look so bad under the faucet.
No. So Ken comes walking, and back then, to take away some of your cool cred, because you got plenty of Captain Cool cred, he always wore a damn fanny pack. Was
true.
like, come on, man, really, the fanny pack?
It was
Leather.
It was 94.
Band-Aids. He comes walking in this bathroom with this fanny pack, and he's pulling Band-Aids out of the fanny pack, and he goes, I got you, man. He's holding these Band-Aids up, and I was like, I pull my thumb out of the water, and it's like,
Squirt,
and he's
squirt.
like, yeah, this ain't going to work. I ended up walking like 4 blocks holding my thumb, and they're walking me like, come on, we'll go to the hospital.
Walked.
And they stitched me up and then put this like giant ball of cotton on the end of my thumb. It was like a Q-tip.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse's thumb.
Thumbs up.
Yeah. So the whole damn show, Kyle's on the mic, just going after me about my damn thumb.
Shayne, how we doing? Give me a thumbs up. There we go.
What a dick.
It was awful. It was awful. So, like the whole, I got to hold it above my heart, because if I let it go down, then it's like got a heartbeat just pounding in my hand.
Hey, Fonzie.
Yeah, it was terrible.
How's the show going?
It was brutal. He was lighting me up like a Christmas tree. It was terrible. Oh, all right. Well, let's do this. Let's take a break, because we do gotta, get the sponsors in here and keep the lights on, that whole thing.
Yep.
But when we come back, we got a lot of other stuff to talk about in the way of festivals and concerts, and more about Twin City Sound and the evolution of Twin City Sound, because it started as field party and the occasional school, and then now it's like this entity with all these different fingers, and I'm super excited about it for you, bro.
Thank you.
So, folks, when we come back from the break, we will get more with our guest, Kenny Flexx, so stick around, and we'll see you in just a minute. Boots and Backstraps is proudly brought to you by Homes by Shayne. Making your move with the Homes by Shayne team means an unparalleled customer service experience. That level of service is the foundation of this RE/MAX Results referral-based business. Our driven team of experts communicate with their clients every step of the way, ensuring a memorable experience from the first conversation through your closing day. Go to homesbyshayne.com for more information. Let's get you home. If you would like to sponsor the Boots and Backstraps podcast, or you have an interest in joining our team, send us an email to bootsandbackstrapspodcast@gmail.com. Folks, welcome back from the break to Boots and Backstraps. We're still in studio with my guy, TK. How you
Come
doing,
on
sir?
now.
And, of course, Kenny Flexx. Let's get right over to Ken. There he is.
Yes, indeed.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you.
So I assume we all emptied our bladders and refilled our glasses?
Yep.
That's what we do on the break. Let's get a clink and drink here, gentlemen.
Sounds good.
Giddy up.
Virtual.
Whiskey.
Kenny, can we reach?
Yes, we
All
can.
right. You're a fun guest. I'm
Thank
glad
you.
you're here tonight.
Thank you very much.
So we were talking, Ken, before the break about some of the funny interactions and things that have happened with shows over the
Right?
years.
Oh my goodness.
Can you think of any others that you'd like to get in the mix? I know Kyle and I have some on reserve, but
Let's start with Kyle's. I want to hear Kyle's.
Kyle's always got good ones.
Good. Yeah.
Actually, I'll start this one with a question, then you guys can just take the story from there. Ken, have you ever taken a CD out of a CD player while it's playing at BC, which is Brooklyn Center?
Oh yeah. That happened. I think you were on the dance floor at the time.
Might have been. Was that a percolator incident?
I think it was the electric slide.
The electric slide.
That's right.
I was a dick to you. I'm sorry.
It made me the man I am today, Ken.
Thick skin, right?
Give me my thick skin. Gotta be thick skin to be friends with some of the people I'm friends with.
Oh my God.
I was easy prey, though.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, I did take it like a champ. You gotta give me that.
Yes.
So what happened was Ken is playing the electric slide. Shayne's out on the dance floor with all the kids from the high school, leading the electric slide.
Yeah.
Ken accidentally takes the CD out of the CD player, so the song stops.
Completely stopped.
Accidentally.
And then everybody's like, ooh.
And why do they look at the guy with the microphone? I'm like, I'm nowhere near the mixer.
Without missing a beat, Ken gets on the mic and says, hey, sorry, I had to stop. Shayne was off beat.
I remember that. I remember that vividly. Shayne was
Red,
off beat.
just red.
The skinny cracker kid was way off beat. I'm like, darn it.
But now that we got him on, so we can now continue.
You know, and it's like this whole gym full of like middle school kids, and they're all like, "Oh!" I'm like, "What? I don't know." It's hilarious.
Yep,
That's funny shit right there.
Oh man,
I did.
I'm going to talk like a redneck. I better start wearing more redneck clothing, like you.
me?
Put some okay.
I have sleeves
You
on
wearing
here.
that same shirt every episode we've had.
More camo.
No, I have another one that I've been rotating. And the last episode that we did with Jeff, I had a T-shirt on.
It's like more cowbell.
It's good of you to notice,
Yeah.
Tom.
We want more camo.
Christopher Walken, more cowbell. One of the
I love
greatest,
Christopher Walken.
one of the greatest skits ever.
I know.
Will Ferrell was one on the cowbell, right?
Yep.
That dude's hilarious.
Right.
One of my favorite. I mean, if Will Ferrell's done a lot of really funny stuff. I mean, you can laugh literally the entire movie of what's the Ricky Bobby thing?
Talladega Nights.
Thank you, Talladega Nights.
Yep.
Like you could just laugh that entire movie. It's just that funny. But that's not my funniest moment.
What's
And
the Christmas movie? I love the Christmas
Elf.
movie. Yeah.
He has that scene where he
My
slams that
wife's
2
favorite
liter.
movie.
And then he rips this like 30-second belch and then looks at that 10-year-old and he's like, "Did you hear that?" The kid sitting right next to him like, "Are we in the room together?" Just that right there, that scene made my night.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, that's right up there with the Jim Carrey. He walks off the elevator and he's like, "It was me."
Right.
Everyone's in the elevator like, "Oh."
Yep. Yeah.
Lynn's going to be giggling all night long now.
You know, honestly, I know we
Let's
don't
do
get
parodies on movies for the rest of the night.
Right. That was.
I know we don't get political in this podcast, TK, but
Yeah, we don't.
There's a line in that movie that I think applies directly to how everyone should live their life in society in 2021.
All right.
It's when he grabs that phone and he's like, "Quit breaking the law, asshole." Like,
Right.
hello.
Yes. I'll agree with that.
Yeah, and just everyone behave themselves. We'll be fine.
Lynn and I took a road trip. We went down to Caledonia, Houston, actually. And we
This is
had a
Minnesota, by the way, apparently.
Quail Forever meeting down there. And, you know, I got to ask you, I'm sorry I'm getting a little sidetracked, but Kenny, you've been down to the Winona. You've been to southeastern Minnesota ever?
I have been there, yes, but
It's a whole different world. There's most of the people that live
It's
in
beautiful.
Minnesota have never even seen that part of the Minnesota,
Yeah.
which is like the foothills of the mountains or the Black Hills, but it's just these valleys and ravines and these small towns and
Yeah.
oh, it's spectacular country.
Yeah.
So Lynn and I did a little road trip to Caledonia. We had a meeting and met with the Quail Forever people, and we had Thurman Tucker on our show once. He's the president of the Minnesota chapter. Great
Okay.
man, great Christian man, and then from there we did a loop. Just all in one day. Got up in the morning, went down there, spent some time in God's country. I'm getting on a little bit of a tangent here, and then we went over to Cresco, Iowa, where I pheasant hunt and picked up a collar and a blind that I have. And you know what this is all leading into? I have no idea.
I was waiting for you to say it. You crop dusted in the car and slammed the door and locked it with the remote with your poor wife in there.
I have
okay,
no
I see
idea.
I see how that got.
No idea where I was going with this. I did originally, but it's long gone.
Just wait.
No. I don't think this one's coming.
Sinking.
Lord, it ain't easy.
Marinate.
It's not easy. Go ahead, keep talking. I'll figure it out.
So we used to have this tradition where after shows we would go to Scoreboard Pizzeria in Brooklyn Center. It's right up the street from BC. So not every show we did, but a lot of shows.
A lot of them.
Especially the BC ones because it's, 8
Right
blocks
there.
away. And
2
you'd go in
blocks.
there. 2 city blocks.
Yeah.
You'd go in there and they had these. I mean, technically it's like a calzone, but they call it a pizza pocket turnover.
Yep.
If
Sandwich.
if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And essentially you just pick your toppings and they'd stuff this big chunk of bread full of all that and sauce and cheese and whatever.
Uh-huh.
And then they'd cook them all and there'd always be
Pepperoni, sausage, and all the good stuff.
Yeah, you'd be there'd be like 6, 8, 10 of us or whatever, depending on how many were on the gig. Ken would always pay the tab because he's a nice guy.
Or how many would just show up?
Which was all of $40 back then.
Yeah, it's cheap. Anyway, so we'd have this contest where you dig your fork into your turnover and then see how far you could stretch the mozzarella. And it turned into like this hilarious thing where guys are standing on tables and holding their cheese, stretch it as far as you could before it broke.
Hitting the ceiling.
Yeah.
With straight cheese all the way up.
Can you believe there's hundreds of people listening to this?
It was cool then.
This is like the 90s, man. That kind of thing was cool. Do you remember the 90s, TK?
People are saying that old guy doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about, and those 2 other guys are talking about stretching cheese up to the ceiling.
I'll tell you.
I hope it's still there.
I will tell you
For sure.
a funny story that ties to that, and it actually deals with Travis.
That's Kid George.
Kid George.
Or Boy George, according to Tom.
Cowboy George.
Cowboy George. Kid Cowboy George. When we were planning for Country Jam, we went there to eat, and it was the first time Kid George went to that. So we're all ordering our pizza turnovers, and he says everything that he wants, and he says, I want extra cheese and jalapenos. So they come with this thing packed with jalapenos. Like,
nice.
Beyond belief. I'm sitting next to him. He's pulling these things out. Like, my eyes are watering just sitting next to him.
It was funny because he was like eating them at first. Ooh. Even though it was so stuffed that you wouldn't think there's any other toppings in there because it was so full of jalapenos. Mm-hmm. So they took their interpretation of what he said of extra jalapenos, and they did like extra because it was so full of jalapeno. I remember because he likes spicy stuff. Uh-huh. And he's eating them. And like Kyle said, he's still pulling out just piles of jalapeno that he couldn't eat.
Sweating profusely. And he has a pile of them on the side next to it that he can't even eat. And they're still in there.
That's so funny.
So I still give him grief about it to this day.
It was one of those like, okay, wait a minute now. He said extra cheese, jalapenos.
Right.
And they did.
Yeah, they put in extra jalapenos.
That poor
Gotta
toilet.
love Scoreboard.
That poor toilet.
Right.
So, Kenny, let's talk about your sex life.
Well, I'm just saying, like, punctuation is very important, Tom, because you can help your Uncle Jack off a horse, or I'm just like that. Punctuation is important.
Very.
Put the comma where it goes, man. Otherwise, it can get bad.
You learned that one the bad way,
right? Why do I got to wear these gloves that go up to my armpits? You know what I'm talking about, Tom.
I think Uncle Jack's up there laughing. Oh, God.
Oh, man. I remember a show that we did. It was another one that you helped us get set up and then had to take off. But it was Jedlicka's wedding. Was it Miranda Jedlicka's wedding?
Miranda Jedlicka. Do you know what Big Steve's last name is?
No.
Jedlicka.
You're kidding me.
No.
Okay, maybe there's a closer tie than I thought here. So Kyle and I are doing this wedding, and we had, we'll just say, Ken was the king of, it'll be just fine. And we'd be like, hey, man, we're a little concerned about this tape player or this CD player. Like, we had problems with it or whatever. And,
I got duct tape.
That'll be fine. That'll be fine. You'll be fine. And he'd take off and he'd go off to his gig with the best equipment that we had as a company.
Oh, my
Always
gosh.
the premium stuff. And so anyway, so Kyle and I are doing this gig, and I can't remember. I don't think it matters all that much what song was playing, but we got a packed dance floor, and there's a big song going.
Hokey Pokey.
Yeah, oh, that's right. It was Hokey Pokey.
Hokey Pokey.
I used to play the Hokey Pokey for years.
And you turn yourself around.
And years.
Right. So we're Hokey Pokey's playing, and Kyle and I, we're on a stage, and we got the sound system, and as we've already talked about a bunch of times, everything we owned for sound equipment back then was huge. Everything he owned for sound equipment was huge. So it's like Kyle and I are basically above the belly button up is all you can see. Everything below that's blocked by equipment, right? Mm-hmm. And
which is convenient.
In this story it was. So packed dance floor, right? It's going great. This wedding's going great.
They love the Hokey Pokey.
Hokey Pokey's playing. And then all of a sudden there's
Beer barrel polka.
There's like this little like a little, not a full skip, like a little mini
chirp.
thing. Right. And Kyle and I looked at each other, and I was just like, what?
Come on now.
Whatever. Keep going. And then it's like, does it again, like,
oh, shit.
Look at each other like,
oh, shit. It's coming up.
Right. So we're just sitting there. And
waiting for the CD to get to that part.
Right. So the CD got to that part, and it gets into a skip where it's just like, and I look to my left, and I'm like, Kyle, what should we? And he's already ducked down behind the gear. And
it ain't me.
And I look back.
He's going like that.
Right.
I look back forward, and everyone on the dance floor is looking at me like,
what? Quit trying to remix that shit.
I was just like, I'm like,
And I just go, I think you want to change the song.
When that used to happen to me in my CDs, I'd stop and I'd say, that never used to happen with my records, or my cassettes, or my 8-tracks.
8-tracks.
Oh, right?
No, I didn't really say that. I said, that never used to happen with records. And it did. I had a disc jockey at the Hogsbreath that used to just trash the records.
Yeah, I spun it on my finger and broke a few that way.
Yep.
One of my favorite memories of us working together on a gig was we did this college party, and I think it was in Minneapolis, and we both were not fans of Macarena. Or, no, this is Kyle. It was Kyle.
Yes,
that's right. It was Kyle. I remember because we were talking about before the show, like we both hate Macarena, and it was huge at that time. And Ken had that particular song on vinyl, so we had turntables and a dual tape deck.
I actually had my version there because Ken had his for his show.
Oh, right. So anyway, so we got this college party, packed full of all these college kids. It's going great, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And this wasted gal kept coming up and like pressuring us about playing Macarena.
Oh, man.
And we're like, I tried saying we don't have it, and of course she wasn't buying it.
Right.
That's like, there's so many like famous DJ lines that you drop at people in the booth, which we could talk about.
Yeah.
To get rid of them.
Yeah.
And I don't have it's one of them, obviously. No, I don't got that one. It's always usually BS. So anyway, so she kept coming up and up and up and up and up. And then finally Kyle's like frustrated with this gal because she wouldn't leave us alone. And she had a bunch of drinks. And all of us who get a few drinks in us were like the obnoxiousness dialed up to level 100.
Yep.
Yeah. I got a great story about you, Ken, almost killing a guy.
Oh, Jesus.
Anyway, so she kept coming up. She comes up, and Kyle's like, fine, I'll play the song. I'll play it. She's like, all right. So he puts the record on, puts the vinyl on, the song starts, and he's like, hey, this is by request. And she's like, she's pumped. It's like she just...
Ayo, ayo.
She's walking on the dance floor like it's, she's the queen of the room. She's all pumped up like, yeah. It literally plays like 15 seconds, and Kyle grabs that needle and just drags it across the thing. Puts a massive scratch across this record. And like the whole floor stops. They're all looking up at him. And he's like, I don't know, it broke. Takes it off.
Wow.
Kenny, you would never do that, would you?
No.
Me either.
No.
You guys are pricks.
No, it was hilarious.
Right?
Because as soon as he said that, everyone in the room except that obnoxious girl was laughing. They're dying laughing.
Right.
The whole room.
True.
You watch a documentary on the Eagles, and one of the guys that quit the Eagles, he said, I can't sing Take It to the Limit one more time. And Glenn Frey said, hey, do you think I enjoy singing all these different songs every single show. He says, you got to do it. You got to do it. And the guy quit. And I don't remember his name, but
smart career
that's
move
what
there.
we
Right?
that's what we had to do as disc jockeys.
Randy Meisner.
Yeah.
See,
And I'm like,
Kyle's the shit.
music encyclopedia.
He's crazy.
you got to do it. Whether it was the, what was the first rap song? Rapper's Delight, or whether it was the Macarena, or whether it was one we talked about earlier.
I'll never be tired of Rapper's Delight.
I mean, all
Baby
those
Bubba.
songs that we had to play every night, you had to do it.
Hey,
Yep.
Because they wanted to hear it, and that's why we were there. We were there to play the records and the
That
music
made them
for
happy.
them.
Yep.
Not you.
Whatever makes makes them
dick.
happy.
I don't know what you mean, man.
although I do have a story about Ken that had to do with the CD.
Here we go.
And this was when we were at the rink on an adult night. You were DJing.
Yeah, Mr. Judgy Judge.
And somebody
Was it recent?
somebody came up with a Grateful Dead CD, some song that they wanted played, and they were super obnoxious about it. We're like, quit playing the crap that you're playing. Like, we're just bad-mouthing everything you're playing. You put the CD in the CD player, you let it play for like 2 minutes, and then you pounded your fist next to the CD player, and it skipped, and you went, oh, wait, that one skipped. We're going to go to the next song.
Oh. Yep.
Did that happen, Ken?
It may have happened.
It was all inadvertent.
Do you want me to give it to him, too?
Can,
You prick.
can we talk about excuses that DJs give to patrons? Because I
Yes.
think this would be really fun.
Yes.
Do it.
All right, let's go.
TK, you're up to bat
I'm
first.
telling you, it was my philosophy, and it was the philosophy that I taught everybody. Play the song. Here's
Sorry.
Until 10:30.
Here's what I challenged myself to do. If someone came up and requested a song, didn't matter what it is, I made an effort to get that song on before they got back to their seat.
I know you say that.
Before 10:30?
There's
It had to have been before 10:30, because after 10:30,
because it just made them light up, and they were like, "Oh my God, he got that song on right away for me. I'm coming here every week."
Yep.
And that made their life. I mean, these
if it's
people.
before 10:30, after that, if you put on a song and
Yeah,
the dance floor
after
clears,
10:30, it's
Right.
a little tougher.
Yeah.
But if you can do it, you do it.
well, and thank God
all
for
depends
on
technology.
what it is, man.
It's all about the people, and I know
if
there's
it's going
a
to
lot
kill
of
your
humorous
dance
stories.
floor, you're not going to do it.
With technology today, you play the chorus, move on to the next one.
Right.
Right.
Well,
And they're
Right.
like, I got my song.
Right. That's all they remember at that point. They're on their fourth drink. They're like,
lot of
hey,
dis-
played my song.
a lot of disc jockeys made the mistake of playing music for their peers instead of the dance floor. These people that have 9-to-5 jobs and they live a normal life like we don't. And these disc jockeys got to get the right beat mixes in, and you don't have to do that. You have to play the songs that they want to dance to and they want to hear.
But what
And
do
I've
you?
had
But what
nothing
do you
but
tell
success.
them if you don't want to play it? Is what I'm asking.
If I don't want to play it, I
Hold on now,
always
wait.
wanted to play their songs.
But my point is not I don't disagree with you. Like, believe me, I've learned over 30 years of being a professional DJ. You read the room, but that's what he and I are talking about. Like, if somebody comes up and they ask for a
Stacy's
really
mom.
obscure request, and if you play it, it's going to kill your
I'm like,
floor.
Stacy's mom right now?
Like, the floor's dead. Like, just
But
bury it.
You got to understand.
Then
It
you-
doesn't
they made-
matter
You made
if it
one
kills
person
the floor.
happy and 50 people leave the dance
There's
floor.
probably a lot of disc jockeys that would disagree with me, but being a club owner and a disc jockey, I don't care if I kill the floor, because if I kill the floor, everyone's going to buy a drink.
True.
And
True statement.
The
True
cash
statement.
registers are ringing,
Except that asshole that made the crazy request that's drinking water all night. You're like,
and if it's a slow song, that's easy to do.
Yeah, the
okay,
slow
I'll get
ones
that
are
on.
good.
You play a couple slow songs and you get it in, and you just always have to make. And I'm not trying to kill your fun here. Believe
You're
me.
killing the fun.
I know.
Tom,
I'm
this is supposed to be a game.
the vibe is dead.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm killing your vibe, and I'm sorry, but you guys are. Come on now.
Talk about F-bombs,
well,
Tom.
I know.
Two F-bombs in one
Oh,
episode,
my
Tom?
goodness. I haven't even
we
hit
know
one
that.
yet. Not one.
Beep, boop.
Well, we have Danny. She might edit it.
Okay.
Oh, Oh, we keep that.
Oh,
in.
yeah. That's how I met my wife. She come up and she requested the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band Fishing in the Dark. And I said, can I get your phone number if I play that song? And she said, hell no. And I played it right away. And she goes, well, that was nice. Now can you play us? I said, you got to get me that phone number. And we went back and forth.
It worked out.
It worked out.
There you go.
How about this comment? Can you play something good?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Can I tell a story?
Yes, please do.
Remember the Waterworks?
That's what we're here
our
for.
Friend, Rich Defoe.
Yeah, my uncle, yeah.
He had me doing...
Richie Rich.
He had me doing the show at the Waterworks. He and I go way back to Shark, the days of... Even before the days of Sharks. There's a guy in there, and I'm doing my Rowdy Cowboy show, and the place is actually having a lot of fun, and there's this guy... You know, he's obviously stoned. He's long-haired. Maybe he's a hippie, whatever. Play some... Come on now. Lapland.
Oh, my God. And
Play some...
right after Humpty Dance.
And
Oh, that's gonna be
play
great.
some Skinner. You asshole. He's calling me every name in the book. And
I'm going to go from 160 to 90 beats per minute.
Right.
So this
Like in
is
one
totally
song.
unprofessional of me, but I punched him right between the eyes.
Oh, I didn't
and
see
they
that
carried
coming.
him out of there.
See, Mother Teresa over here's got some
Right?
warts, too.
Oh,
So wait a minute. You didn't play what they wanted?
right? You want
After they threw him out, I played it. No, wait a minute. It wasn't Leonard Skinner because it was the Rowdy Cowboy show, but he was just in my face.
Yeah.
And I, in my Rowdy Cowboy show, I always, not always, but quite often I'd play rock and roll from Led Zeppelin.
Right.
But it was his attitude. Of course I would have played it. He was calling me, play some Zeppelin, you piece of shit.
MFer, and,
And he's
I
just
know it.
calling me out.
Yeah.
You went Sam Jackson on you?
Yeah.
Right?
And he was calling me everything, and I'm like, all right, that's it.
Did you have a
Bang.
walkie-talkie back then? You could get security up there?
Nah.
Oh, I love the walkie.
Yeah.
I'm like, Marcus, Andy, come up here.
Yeah.
And they're gone.
This guy's got to go. He's had his last drink.
All right, since Tom killed our game, what I was going to say.
I've got some.
All right, Shayne, hit me.
I was just going to say, one of the ones that always made me crazy was when people didn't know the name of the song.
Yeah.
And they just blurt out random stuff. And even though I knew what it was, I pretend like I didn't.
See? You're a dick.
My most famous, for sure. My famous one, my favorite one from all the years at Cheap Skate was always play Big Butt. Play Big Butt.
Oh, yeah,
play
of
Big
course.
Butt.
Mix-a-Lot. My God, yeah.
And I'd always be like, I don't have a song called Big Butt. I'm sorry. I don't have Big Butt.
There's no song
Yeah.
called Big
I don't
Butts.
have I don't have a song called Big Butt.
I like Big Butts.
And they'd be like, well, you played it last week. I'm like, oh, it was some other DJ. I didn't know.
Do you have a like Big Butts?
Yeah, right. Right, exactly.
When they come up and they didn't know the name of a song, I would say to them, do you know some of the words? Because maybe I'll recognize it. And I try and work with them. I was on a different. I was trying to. You're trying to build some.
Turn this motherfucker's mic off right now.
Sam.
I actually had a similar situation, Tom.
Hey, can you shift the two shot? It's gonna be here now.
When I actually worked at the roller rink doing an adult night, somebody came up and asked for a song called "Piece of Pie," and I'm like, I don't know a song called "Piece of Pie."
Right?
And they're like, it's a rock song. I'm like, and I don't know it. This seems
She's
ridiculous.
my cherry pie?
That's what I thought. I'm like, Cherry Pie Warrant? She's like, no.
Wild Cherry?
That's an old song. It's like Wild Cherry. Like, what are we talking about? Finally found out as I was digging through, Peace of Mind by Boston is the song she was talking about, but she thought it said Piece of Pie. And even after I told her I played it, I'm like, it's called Peace of Mind. And she's like, no, it's not. I'm like, I have the album right here. It's right on there. And she's like, she just didn't believe me.
Well, typically the disc jockey is right when it comes to titles and.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite is Kid George. When someone will make a request, they're like, "Hey, will you play this song?" He's like, "You're awesome," and he'll high five them and they'll walk away. He's like, "I ain't playing that shit."
Right.
But he won't say yes or no. He'll be
I
like,
totally believe that.
he'll be like, "You're awesome. High five." And then I'm like, "Are you going to do it?" He's like, "Hell no.
Hell no.
No, this is a terrible idea."
He'll forget about it in 2 minutes.
Wait a minute, your brother non-committal? What
No,
do you
they
mean?
won't.
He's not here to defend himself.
No. But when he sees us, though, he's going to be rolling laughing.
He wouldn't commit to being here anyway, so.
No.
Point taken.
No, I invited him. I said, hey, you know what? We got Ken in studio. You should be there.
Hello.
Yeah, and he's all like, oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'll see you
Did
there.
he say awesome and then give you a high five?
Right.
Just asking.
Right.
Oh,
Probably did.
that does sound familiar.
Over text.
I also like to use. I'll see what I can do because it's so encouraging.
Yeah,
but then
that's
I
right.
get to decide what I do. You know,
That's
I'll see what I
classic.
can do.
See what I can do. or either that or I'll try to get it in. Try to get it on. I think that's another one that you'd mix in. Well, because the thing is Tom, you know, I'm going to get you to come to the
Does
dark
he?
side here.
No,
Kicking
I
and,
appreciate all that you're saying, but that's not the way I rolled.
kicking and screaming. You're coming over here.
No, he just punches them.
Right.
Yeah,
right?
Fucker.
Thank you, Kyle.
I never hit anybody.
No, absolutely not.
So anyway,
I had two people.
You'd have
Wow.
Calcutta. You are not. So like you'd have a set lined up, right? Somebody come ask for a request.
my
You got
God.
2, 3, 4 songs where you're trying to work your way through different whatever. You know,
You're building.
right. You're building one direction or another with the music,
Right.
Like you're going up in beats, you're going down in beats, like you know. And so somebody comes and asks for a request, and it doesn't match with what you're doing at all.
Right.
You know, I certainly see what you're talking about where you could slip it in real quick to really make their night and give everybody a break to go have a heater or get a refill at the bar or go to the bathroom or whatever. But sometimes you're like in the groove and their timing is terrible.
Right.
You're not going to burn your dance floor because you got 50 people out there that you're also catering to and they're having the time of their lives. And some knucklehead comes up and they want to hear the Monkees.
Next.
Stacy's
I think
mom.
the biggest comeback on it was, I just played that a while ago. You must have just got here.
Oh, of course. Yes.
And that was true,
That
typically.
Yeah. See the weasel there?
Baloney.
Weasel.
I did just play it.
And then I would say I'll try and get it on again a little later.
Right.
Because I did
There you
just
go.
play it.
There you
Yeah, there were many gigs that, where we'd play the same song a couple times.
Oh, my God, yeah. Especially at high school.
That was part of my training process. When I trained disc jockeys, I said, don't be afraid.
No.
So many disc jockeys think, well, I played that once tonight. I said, so what?
So what?
It's not a radio station, and it's not like anyone's controlling it.
Nope.
If it's a hot song,
Yep.
I would play.
Yep.
When I started
3 times.
early, I would play all those hot songs just to get
Yep.
everyone motivated on the dance
Right.
floor. And then you do your regular
Yeah.
whatever you're doing, and then get all those songs on again later
Yep.
on, and then they really go crazy.
Yep.
I mean,
yep.
it's
I
it's
agree.
not rocket science. It's like play what they want to hear.
Yep.
I mean, we could play Cupid Shuffle 3 times in a night
Right.
tomorrow,
Right.
and people would still get down with
Oh,
it.
of course.
Timeless.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's what you mix out of with it.
I will say that we just did a Roddy Cowboy show on the 4th of July, and we played the wobble, and everybody faced the DJ booth, and these kids didn't know. They just were
they had
like
no
booty
idea.
shaking, and I was like, what? And we started it over. And,
Ouch.
And,
And
they
they still-
didn't know. And so then I pulled one of the girls aside, and I said, how old are these people? And she's like,
17.
yeah. She's like, well, I'm 18. He's 16.
Right.
I'm like, I think they're all drunk. Anyways.
Where was that?
They
Where
didn't-
did you do that show?
I can't tell you now. 'Cause there may or may not have been,
Right.
not trying to. Anyways,
Yeah, no, there's no bus to push people under here.
no.
No.
But anyways,
No,
yeah,
I wasn't-
didn't even know it.
Wow.
We'll ask her after the show.
Okay. I just didn't know anyone was doing the show anymore.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, yeah.
So Roddy Cowboy Show is basically from being residency. Now they just do shows by special request. They do 1 or 2 or 3 gigs a month when they get requested to go different places. So, like July 31st at the Hog's Breath for the 40th anniversary.
Boom.
Where Kenny Flexx will be there.
May or may not
the
be there.
first.
He is. He's going to be the first one. Yeah, so we should say that, Tom, that we're doing the podcast, right?
Yep.
Yep. It starts at 7.
This guy knows more than you, apparently.
Most people do.
Oh.
So, podcast.
Was that a question?
Yeah, I was just going to let you run with it for a minute.
Oh, about the podcast?
Well, yeah, the night.
Well, the night's going to be crazy. I think everyone's gearing up for it. They're gearing up for it all over the Twin Cities.
Standing
People
room
that
only.
haven't been in there in 30, 40 years are coming in. I mean, we're getting feedback from everybody. It's going to be standing room only. I encourage everybody to get there early, like the old days, because, the podcast, the WeFest kickoff party, and the 40-year reunion of the Rowdy Cowboy Show. I mean, it ain't going to get more fun than that. And everybody being cooped up for the last year and a half, you know it's going to be just nuts.
Right.
We actually just got approval via your good friend and owner of the Hog's Breath, Tom DeRay, to do giveaways for the 4 premium tables facing the dance floor for table reservations for that night.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And so we're still kind of talking about how we're going to do those contests, but we're going to be doing those via our social media platforms.
Oh.
And as far as the WeFest goes, we're giving away 4 general admission tickets. We're giving away 4 reserve seats, which is right behind the box seats, and we're giving 1 pair of box seats away, and T-shirts and hats.
And a Lake Sally campsite pass.
Lake Sally camp. Yeah, thank you. Lake Sally campsite pass for 2 people, which is a big deal.
Huge. I mean, Lake Sally's the one that sells out first every time.
Yeah.
Who's playing?
Well, Blake Sheldon is one of the headliners.
Awesome.
Dirks Bentley and
You're gonna be
Florida
there?
Georgia Line.
I'd love to.
I
but
got to tell you a Dirks Bentley story. You know, I was standing on the stage. He was just coming. He just had his first big hit. What was it? No, not much. That's George Strait. What was his first hit?
It wasn't free and easy. It was What Was I Thinking?
What was I thinking?
What was I thinking? Yeah,
He was standing. He just come out with
great
that song. We had him on. He wasn't obviously wasn't ahead. He wasn't second to the headliner. I think he was third to the headliner. And he was standing next to me, and he was tuning his guitar, and just a normal guy like most of them are. And I said, you know, you keep bringing out hits like that last one of yours. I said, someday you're going to headline this show, and you'll have somebody else tuning that guitar for you.
Sure enough.
And sure enough, he's headlining this year. And
Awesome.
I think, and I don't know what happened in the last 6 years, but I don't think he's ever headlined the WeFest.
Oh,
But
okay.
he is this year.
Okay.
And he never headlined it when I was, the host and involved with it. So that's maybe a really, really big deal for him.
That's
and,
awesome.
I can't wait to see him. And hey, you remember that time I told you you're going to headline the WeFest? He's a great guy.
Oh, man.
Great
His
guy.
songs are just
And he does a great
Awesome.
show. Fun show.
yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him 6 or 8 times, and he's
Oh,
always
have
put
you?
on a good show. Yeah.
Drunk on a Plane, Sideways. Oh, my God.
We
So-
would at Country Jam when Ken was walking around. We'd walk behind him and then tell people, we'd be like, "Hey, is that Dirks Bentley? Is that Dirks Bentley right there?"
I have a great Dirks Bentley Kenny
That's
story.
right. We went to the concert,
Well, this was a Rascal Flatts.
Rascal Flatts concert.
I had floor seats to Rascal Flatts, and I asked Ken, I was like, hey, man, do you want to go with me to this concert? And he was like, yeah, man, I'm down.
this was a decade ago.
At least a decade ago.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to think of, was it Excel Energy Center or was it Target Center? I think it was Excel, wasn't it, St. Paul?
I was drunk.
Okay, well, we're going to say Excel. I think it was Excel.
On a plane.
So anyway, so
Drunk on a plane.
we got pretty good seats. We're, not in the very front section, but we're like maybe first or second row of that next section. So they're pretty good seats. Mm-hmm. And when
Yeah.
the show started, they had this secondary backstage that rose up out of the floor, and that's where the band came up out of to start the show. And we were, like, I could touch
Right
the
there.
stage. We were right
I know
there.
it. It was awesome.
So the crazy thing is before they came up out of the floor to start the concert, we had these beautiful women in the row behind us, and they were kind of like giggling and pointing at us, right? And Ken and I are like, "What's that all about? Like, what's going on back there?"
What the F?
Yeah, not whatever it happens. And so then the band comes up and they're playing. It's Jay and Gary and Joe Don, the 3 Rascal Flatts folks, and you know those guys.
Yep.
And they come up, and one of them, I can't remember which one it was, not that important to the story, but they point at Ken. Like, they kind of pointed at him. So then after they made their way through the catwalk up to the main stage, one of the girls, like, kind of pokes me in the arm, and I'm like, what? And she was like, hey, is that Dirks Bentley? And I was like, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I was single. He was single. We were single like a Pringle. And I was like, yeah. And she was like, what's he doing out here? And I was like, well, they just gave us tickets. They told us we could sit here or whatever. And he was hoping no one would notice him. And they were like, oh, that's so cool. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, what are you guys doing after the show? And this is back when, I don't even know.
Who said that?
The girls.
The girl said that. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. As soon as I said he was Dirks, they were like, what are you doing after the show? And I was like, oh, we're going to probably go find a bar or whatever. And I think it was Wild Onion on Grand Avenue where we ended up.
Yeah, they had some great parties at that bar.
They
Oh, yeah.
did. It was
Yeah.
very busy that night.
Yeah.
Packed dance floor, the whole thing. And Ken was like a Boy Scout all night. I'm like, come on, man. supposed to be playing wingman. And he's all like, I'm just going to sit over here and drink my Bacardi diet. I was like, come on, man. But it was such a cool experience because they were convinced. These two girls were absolutely, for sure, probably still to this day, convinced that he's Dirk Spantling.
I sat behind Dirks.
So you probably tell people that. Oh, sit next to Dirks in the concert. Like, how cool is that?
Very cool. Very fun.
It was
Good
super
memories.
fun, yeah. Well, so now, Ken,
Yep.
Twin City Sound has come a long way from where it was like, college parties and like starting to do a few schools. And then you had this crazy run of wedding receptions, which I was a big part of, obviously.
Yeah.
And Kyle in there, and a lot of other guys, Steve Reisinger.
Yep.
Rising, thank you.
Yep.
Sorry. Steve Rising, all of us kind of part of that whole thing, the Twin City Sound family over the years.
Yeah.
And then it just becomes this like almost like corporate entity for you where it just branches into all this other stuff that, here we go. That's the four of us right there.
Well, yeah, that's right.
There's Steve.
Where were we?
This was your birthday party, I believe, 2008.
Oh, so this was at Sidelines?
No, I think that was Pavlitsky's and Blaine, wasn't it? Or Andover or whatever?
I think so, yeah.
I think it was Pavlitsky's.
Angelique.
It was in Cambridge at the bowling alley. Nice Annie.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, that's right, because I gave Kyle a milk shot. He was all nervous thinking I was giving him booze.
That's true.
That happened. Do you see the baby faces up there, too?
Right? Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Bunch of kids.
Yes.
This is actually like a change of pace for him because we keep putting up all these Wii Fest pictures from the 80s and 90s where he had the baby face.
Oh, yes.
Long time ago.
I was like, look at that. That's Burt Reynolds or something. I still do that when we go places. We'll go to restaurants and stuff. And he almost always beats me at the restaurant, and he's just sitting in the booth by himself, and I'll come up with a little teenage hostess gal at the Village.
Yeah.
I'm always like, I'm with Burt Reynolds. And she's like, what?
Really?
Isn't he dead?
Right.
Yeah, I prop him up in the booth once in a while.
Bernie.
So Twin City Sound becomes this conglomerate where you have all these different things going on with it, and it's not just the DJ business anymore, right?
Nope. We're doing photo booths now. We have a really cool LED inflatable.
Whoop whoop.
There it is. Yeah, and we do
Sherpo. Is that what the hat's called? Sherpo.
A what?
What's the hat called?
Oh, the type of hat.
Yeah. Sorry.
I would say it's a fedora.
Fedora. Thank you.
Fedora. Yeah, but whatever.
Pimp hat.
Got the Viking horns.
Right?
You got to have those.
Yeah.
And every girl wants to get drunk and wear a cowboy hat. I don't know what it is.
Oh, I know it. Right. But actually, this is at a school.
Okay. Woo, sorry about that. Sorry. Can't use that for a commercial for Twin City Sound now.
Right.
Can't clip that out. Sorry, Angelique.
Or can you?
She's like, you asshole. I was going to use that.
Right.
Sorry.
So yeah, schools and weddings, corporate events, galas, and all that sort of thing.
Can you throw that picture back up quick, please?
It's really cool because it's just like glamorous, shiny.
Yeah, give us the nickel tour. How does this work?
So yeah, you could probably fit 3 or 4 people in there, and they use that it's like an iPhone. It kind of looks like a giant iPhone back there.
Yeah, I can see that there.
And you pick if you want black and white or color, and then you go for it. You'll have 3 different poses, and then it'll print out all 3 of those poses. It'll tell you when it'll count down for you. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, click. And then here we go, 3, 2, 1, click, and you'll get all 3 of your poses in there, and then it'll come out with a photo strip.
That doesn't give you much time to get your clothes back on,
right? Especially at a school when they're like, I'm just kidding.
And oh darn it!
No, that's happened. And
I
Angelique's like, no, we are not printing that one.
So does it print out of that same machine?
No, the printer is outside the booth.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about that. I remember when you guys first got that set up.
Yeah.
We had a photo booth, but it was something that lug nut Josh Peters made.
Yeah.
And it was all like steel tube. And it weighed a bazillion pounds.
1,000 pounds.
And it came apart in like 3 pieces, but each of those pieces was 1,000 pounds.
Right.
And you had to have like a trailer to haul it anywhere.
Yes.
And then I remember Angelique getting that set up, and I was like,
duh.
We're out.
Where were we?
Like, we're out.
We dropped the ball.
We're not doing photo booth anymore. We're done.
Yeah, inflatable is so much nicer.
Just push the button.
Let the
Done.
let the air do it.
Like you're seriously like you and Angelique are sitting there having drinks while we're trying to put our thing together. Ours is done. What's taking you guys so long?
You guys just pouring sweat.
Right. So what was this one? Let's go back to that one.
That's our green screen.
So what's the deal with the
So
green
like
screen?
it's like a weatherman. You can put anything behind you. So you can be in Italy, you can be on the pyramids, you can be on stage,
On the moon.
Yep, anywhere you want to be, and then we'll just
No, not mooning. Mooning on the moon?
Right. Mooning on the moon. You can be there.
Right?
If you've got a green screen.
Can you green screen me to spring break? I want a moon.
One time we had the green screen like partly on the ground, and my brother made a comment about, "Are we doing porn?"
Whoops.
Yeah, because the ground was partly covered in green. Of course, you had the back too, and I'm like, Bob. Good Lord, dude.
So for those of you that might just be tuning in, we are not stoned.
No.
And a little tipsy, but not stoned.
Yeah, we're having a good time tonight. It's been a great episode.
It has been fun. Thank you so much for having me on
Are
tonight.
you kidding me?
That's awesome.
No way. It's really our honor, man.
Can we talk about this mobile real quick?
The what?
The new Rappy Rap.
The mobile.
Oh, look
This
at that.
mobile, this
That's
hot-looking
cool. Yeah, we
vehicle.
just got that wrapped at the Graphic Guys in Ham Lake. And those
Cool.
guys were awesome. Angelique came up with a lot of the graphics and of course the guy in the back there with the electricity coming off of them, and they put it together. So it looks good.
Yeah.
Angelique is your wife,
Yep,
your lovely wife.
that's right.
Yeah.
So can we
They just got
stop
married.
talking about
got
your
married
sex
last
life?
year, right?
Yep, last year.
Yeah, congratulations,
Thank
brother.
you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
They've been together for like 50 years, so it's about time they tied the knot.
Marriage is great.
It is.
My wife would say it's a lot of work.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, that's the advice, right? People say if your marriage is going to be successful, you have to
Yeah, you got to
put
work at it.
into
Got to work
It's
at
worth
it.
it.
That's
It's
right.
totally worth it.
It's like a full-time job.
You want to hear something funny about that van? It's completely random.
Oh.
But Ken's
I notice there's no
license-
windows in
Yeah.
the back.
I believe the license plate used to be DJZ
Yeah.
093. Was that what it was?
Yeah, something close to that, if not right on the money.
So it was DJ's 93, which was when Twin City Sound started.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
And that was total random. I didn't like pay for that or nothing. It just came in the mail, and I'm like, really? Whoa!
That's awesome. So this is all; those are services that you provide in addition to the DJ side of the business.
Yep.
So it's the DJ and the photo booth and the green screen.
Yep. That's basically
Got to
it.
diversify these days, right?
Oh, you have to. Absolutely. Get all the gigs you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Reel them in.
Cover all the angles. What do we got going here?
Oh my God! That's look at that. 2006.
Guitar Center.
Correct.
Yep, at Guitar Center. That was a DJ battle using straight vinyl. There's no computers. So yeah, I was mixing AC/DC Back in Black, using duplicate copies and just going back and forth. It's pretty cool. Trying to get better. I still try to get better. I still practice every week.
I've seen some of your stuff on Facebook where you just put the camera at the end of the mixing area.
Yeah,
And just click it on Facebook Live and then just mix a set.
Yeah, yep.
That's super cool, man.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to check out that quarantine mix.
The quarantine?
Don't you have a quarantine mix? I just saw it.
Oh, yes, that's right. I did.
Don't make me look silly.
No.
You never make the producer look bad.
Right?
You get thrown off the set, bro.
Yeah. just breaking up the quarantine. You know, you're stuck in your house and you're like, oh, geez, what the hell am I going to do?
Shake your booty.
Shake your booty. Have some fun. Got to get through it.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, your mixing, scratching, like all that stuff has come a long way, bro.
Oh yeah. There's so many, Jazzy Jeff and my goodness, the Brolic Army over. Those guys are incredible, unbelievable scratchers, and I just try to get better every day, just working at it. It doesn't matter how old you get. As long as you have fun with it, then it's cool.
Yep.
Well, that's what they say, right, TK? You find something you love, and that's what you do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's not a job. I mean,
right.
I never felt like I was working.
No, I love to go to work.
Either. And
I click my heels. It's time to go to work. Let's go.
I kind of grew up in a similar, you went to the roller rink. When I was a kid, we went to the ice rink.
Okay.
And at the ice rink on close to Marshall and Lexington, Dunning.
Okay.
They had the big skating rink and the hockey rink up on top. And they were pumping out music from WDGY and KDWB.
Yep.
So I'm listening to all the great 50s classics. And whether a lot of it was country and a lot of it was, the up-and-coming rock and roll.
Right.
And that's how I got my education, and that's what spurred me on to become a disc jockey.
Right.
Was just all that fun music I was listening to. And, I don't know how many years, 40-some years I was a disc jockey. And it never felt like work.
All right.
I was in there fixing lights, changing lights, making the sound system better, bigger, and it's
right.
Yeah. It was never a job. It was just fun to do it.
I think one of my favorite things I ever saw Ken watch, like watching Ken watch Jam Master Jay live.
Oh my God!
It was like watching a little kid looking at Santa Claus. Was watching Ken watching Jam Master Jay.
Oh yeah.
Front and center.
Legend.
At the
Absolute
show.
Legend. Yeah. Yeah, I got to touch the Adidas.
You did.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, at a concert, right?
Yeah. This was at First Avenue.
Wow.
Yeah, that was cool.
I remember that story. Yeah, it was like it's interesting, Tom, because I give credit to Ken a lot for me developing the way that I did, not just as a professional DJ/MC, but just understanding the business. And I mentioned this earlier when we were first starting the show about being a professional disc jockey, because there's a lot of knuckleheads out there that think they're DJs.
Oh yeah,
and it takes a lot more than playing music to be a DJ. There's so much nuance that goes into, as I learned so much from you about promoting the club and promoting the people that work in the venue with you, the servers and the bartenders and the door person and the beer tub girl. Like promote those people in your show.
Right.
Don't sit up there like you're on the ivory tower and just play your music like everyone's looking at you like you're the next coming.
Right. I never felt that way.
Right,
I felt like I was just one of the staff, and I was just the guy giving everyone permission to get crazy.
Right.
So what I've done in the last, probably 20 years of my 30-year career, or 15 of it anyway, is really focusing in on the MC part of it and honing that skill. And I owe almost all of that credit to you, bro.
Well, thank you.
Because
man,
you really encouraged me to do that right away.
Yep.
It was like I was playing at weddings and stuff, but when we were doing gigs or like when I'd work with Kyle, you'd always say, here, man, take the mic.
Yep. Get out there.
This is your jam. Like, this is your lane, that kind of thing.
Right.
And so I just kind of focused on that. And it's done a lot for me, not just in the way that we've done so many events, but like the benefits and the charitable functions and like the radio, voiceover stuff I've done, and like even like the TV promotional spot stuff I've done, like all those things I owe to you, man.
Oh, thank you.
And you helping me to kind of round out that part of my
thank you.
My DJ career, and I'm sitting here right now doing this.
Yeah, awesome.
It's voice, is kind of my thing. So
Kenny knows how it works. Kenny gets it. When you elevate other people,
you're right.
It all comes back.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's the way it works, whether you're a Christian, whatever business you're in.
Right.
Elevate your peers or elevate your people. Help them out. Help them climb the ladder.
Yep.
And then When you need it, they're there for you. Or it just it's kind of like karma. Goes around, comes around.
Yep.
You got 2 of us here that you did that for.
Oh, thanks, Kyle.
Yeah, you're being humble, man. Here we go. Here's the trio right here.
Oh. Yeah, that was another decade ago.
That was at a North Gone South show.
North Gone South, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. System of a Down t-shirt.
Scrapping young man. That's Killer Kyle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stud.
I know.
Look at the jawline.
Yeah, nothing's changed.
Yes. Well played, sir. Well played. Yeah, so we, Kyle said it already, but so many other DJs we just really owe a lot to. I know Teddy and I have talked.
P.
Yeah, and Teddy's
a beast.
That dude's amazing.
Oh, my God.
He's getting booked all over the place.
He has gone way past.
But you're not going to take credit for it, but I'm going to toot your horn for you, bro, because he still, to this day, says, Ken is the one that helped me learn the business and cut my teeth and show me the ropes and give me the tools. And then I just took those tools and practiced with them.
Yep.
You
cool.
know, so you literally are like, you're like OG Godfather DJ royalty. You are, seriously.
I'll be the Yoda.
DJ Yoda. He's not Flexx anymore. Now he's DJ Yoda.
Right. With my cane.
So,
DJ Molotok.
just want you to be proud, man, because
thank you.
You're
That's very kind of you.
People talk about like the Bill Walsh football tree and Belichick and all these other people that came out of that, right?
Yep.
That's you, bro. Like all these people that trained under you between Teddy and Steve and Kyle and I, and like the extensions of what we did and the people that we helped along the way. You have this like huge tree of successful DJs and MCs under you, man, and I just want you to know that your legacy is strong.
Well, thank you. That's
man.
very kind of you to say.
Yeah, man. Of course, absolutely. Well, we do got to bring this thing in for a landing, though.
All right.
As much fun as it's been, we got to bring the plane in.
All right.
So I think we're both going to get emotional.
Getting drunk on a plane.
Yeah, right? But before we go, I want you to let the crowd know where they can, or listening or viewing audience, know where they can find you, Twin City Sound.
Yeah. Right now I'm downtown Anoka
at
the Wheelhouse, and I'm doing every Friday and Saturday night there. If you want to get crazy, it gets crazy. Especially after 10:30. So if you want to get your request played, get there before 10:30.
You taking notes, Tom?
Am I taking notes?
Before 10:30.
You throw me a crayon?
So yeah.
How about online, man? Where can they find you online?
Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. Facebook, Ken Novak. I don't do a whole bunch of stuff.
Is it TwinCitySound.com?
Twin City Sound, the best mix in town. That's up there as well. So, and I'll post on both.
Yeah, fantastic. So check him out, folks, and you won't be disappointed with not only the products that they have to offer. Here we go.
Oh, isn't that sweet?
Shout out for you.
Take a picture of that. That's pretty cool.
We will definitely do that.
No kidding, man.
Yeah, so check him out online on social media, both under Ken Novak and obviously under the Twin City Sound label as well for all their stuff. And for bookings, you can go to that Twin City Sound page, and they'll get you squared away, whether you're looking for the DJ or you're looking for the photo booth, you're looking for the green screen, or you want a package. I assume you offer package deals.
Absolutely, and a discount on that package. So.
There you go, folks.
Right?
So give them a holler; they'll take care of you. And obviously, with Boots and Backstraps, it's Boots and Backstraps at Boots and Backstraps podcast at gmail.com with all your questions, comments, and snide remarks. And it's been an absolute treat to have you in here tonight, my man.
Thank you, Shayne. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah,
Kenny, it's been great having you here. It's great to reconnect with you.
I know it. Thank you.
You're a good man.
Thank you, sir.
And a better DJ.
All right.
TK.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us. Whether you're belting out your favorite country song or pursuing your favorite game animal, I encourage you to use that same passion to pursue the Lord. He'll teach you to shoot straight. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. Come on now.
The hunt is on, looking for backstraps, way deep in the woods, tracking in a swamp to a hay field under the harvest moon. When the tags are filled, it's time to switch up our boots. Head down to the honky tonk, get us a swing dance or two. We're talking about boots and backstraps.